because anything, even a small bit of it that we got understanding of Shrishtashtami is perfection of life. So having said that, let us welcome Praveen Prabhu with a loud Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So Praveen Prabhu is one of the sweetest devotees in our congregation and a very, very humble soul. Naturally, he is such a humble person. So Prabhuji joined us in our satsang few years ago, and he's so nicely distributing the message of Lord Krishna to many, many new people. And Prabhuji's verse is one of the most essence verses of Shrishtastakam. Though it is 4 lines, there is everything inside that. So we'll chant together once before Prabhuji starts. Trinadapi suni chena tarorapi sahishnuna amanani amanadena kirtane sada hari. So let us welcome Praveen Prabhu with 3 loud. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. If you want, even Soma Mataji can join you, Prabhuji. Because Prabhuji and Mataji together preach, in the house. When they preach, both of them are there in the screen. Yeah? Today you are allowing Prabhuji to talk. Just kidding. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Thank you, Leland Prabhu. This is a very difficult task for me. Understanding Shrishtastakam is not an easy thing, and also telling about it is not at all easy. If there are any mistakes, please forgive me, as if you forget your maid servant, and take whatever is coming from whatever lectures I have heard. All goodness from that. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। प्लीज रिपीट आफ्टर मी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्याय देवाय गो ब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशचारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. So let's read up to text 3 because we are learning each verse together. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापणं श्रेयः कैर्वचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वाप्नास्न परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति कर्तार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशजनि महाजनि नानुरागः तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमाननीयमानदेन कीर्तनेय सदा हरि. So we are going to learn text 3 or verse 3 today. It's the shortest of all the verses but has the deepest of the meaning and it's very difficult to understand this. If you just look at the meaning of the third verse, one should chant the holy name of the Lord in the humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So if you see text 1, text 2, text 3, it's talking about chanting, right? First one is talking about what is the benefit of chanting, right? It's like extinguishing all the fire of conditional life and get you out of repeated birth and that it give you prime benediction. And then even second verse is also telling about it will give and render all the benedictions living beings, reciting hundreds and names of Govinda. And because the name and roop are not different and the energy is in the names. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says there are no hard and fast rules to help us ease the anxiety or the stress of chanting. And the third verse says what state of mind, how should you chant to get to these benefits, right? What is the state of mind you should be in when you are chanting, and what kind of how do you behave, what do you show to others? So let's go through the meaning of the inner meaning of this verse. So we already read this. So Trunadapi, the verse by verse meaning is Trunadapi is Truna is grass. Sunichana with humility. Taro is tree. Taro ripa is like a tree. Sahishnuna, tolerant. Like they say, right? Trees are the most tolerant. Amaninne manadena, with modesty, with veneration. And what do? Kirtaneya sadahari. You should chant the glories of Hari all the time. Very simple verse. So, as Prabhuji said, this is the most quoted verse, especially His Holiness Radhanatha Maharaj quotes this verse a lot of times in his lectures. Just by hearing that, you might think, oh, it's so easy, I can be humble, I can show humility. But we need to understand what is humility means, what is being humble means. Like humility and humbleness are, kind of same words. Can anybody say here what is being humble means? What is the meaning of being humble? Anyone? What is the meaning of being humble? Surrender? What else? Set aside your ego, surrender to God. Excellent, excellent. Any other things people think about and say humble or humility?
To be aware of our own faults.
Aware of our own false ego. What is false ego, Mataji?
False ego means we always think that we are better than others, but we are better.
Yes, 100%. Yes. Thinking about oneself a lot and you are better than others. And even worse yet, think better than God. No, that is the worst part of it. So humility is that. Let's go through it and see what is humble means. Okay, is humility or being humble means going to temple, I'm a good devotee, I eat prasadam, I listen to lectures. Is it being humble? Why not? Yes, when you are humble you do that. But just by going to temple, just eating prasadam, just listening to lectures is not being humble. No, it's not being humble. But if you are humble, you automatically do that. It's one part of it. And until you are humble, you cannot progress in spiritual journey. You have to be very humble and show the humility in various ways to progress in spiritual journey. Of course, along with your chanting, right? You have to chant and with the state of mind of being humble and humility, show that humility. Only then you can progress. And what does Krishna like in devotees? What is the best thing that Krishna likes? Sincerity. What else? Service to devotees. What else? Service to cows. Yes, there are so many things. Yes, he likes all those things. What is one thing he does not like? One thing he does not like at all. Pride. Pride is also false ego. One thing that Krishna doesn't like in devotees, he is so merciful that he can take anything. One more thing he doesn't take, which is also, I'll come to that, but one topmost thing that he does not like in devotees is pride and false ego. Another thing he doesn't like is Vaishnava Aparadha. If you do anything to his devotees, he will not tolerate at all. So these two are very important. Let's look at humility. And there are different ways of being humble, different ways of humility. First one, false humility. What is false humility? Anybody can tell what is false humility? Acting. Yes, very good, very good. Anything else? Materialistic humility. What is materialistic humility? Right? Materialistic humility. You act in front of people, of course, and for what purpose? Favors, yes, 100%. So this false humility has nothing to do with God. It's nothing to do with God. It is for purely personal favors. You go to people for a favor, for something that you want in return, and it is like you go to a government office, right? How do you deal with them? Sir, please do this. But are you really feeling that inside? No way. You're cursing them. Right? You're going there cursing them, but you can't get the things done without being humble or showing that humility there. That is external humility. But you have to do that. That is materialistic humility. So here, there is no connection of God here. There is no connection of God. And if you see such people, you will feel, oh my God, this guy is so, humble, to show off, right? Okay. The second kind of humility is superficial humility. It's called kapata dainya, cheating. Superficial. It is not real. At least there, that one person goes to some office and, says maybe he gives something, and this is all cheating, the second kind of thing, right? Here, this is a little bit advanced. People come to temples, people go to a guru, a religious institute, shows external humility, they bow down, but internally, they are not. Internally, they are thinking, why am I doing this? They hate God, but still they are doing for show off. But to show off people that I'm going to temple, and maybe because in fulfilling their selfish desires, they bow down to ask for a favor. It is transactional, right? But it's all complete cheating. There's a lot of materialistic agenda, right? You bow down, you go to Tirupati 100 times, climb the hills, but what for? All transactional. You ask for something, right? Give me a villa, give me a flat, give me this job, give me that, right? And there's a lot of materialism. There is no love at all. There is no real humility here. And it also shows up as compassionate, very compassionate. They show compassion to Matajis and they try to cheat them, right? And these are all traps. Nothing to connect with Krishna. There is no connection to Krishna at all. So both the top one and second one has no connection to God. The second one, they go to temple, but still internally they hate God. Okay. Now comes real humility. It's called akapata dainya, right? This is real humility. There is no cheating here, and this is like completely fulfilling the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All they are worried about is how I give pleasure to Krishna, how I give pleasure to my spiritual master, how I give pleasure to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Like, and then even newest devotees, they talk to new devotees also very nicely. They bow down, they do Hare Krishna, they pay obeisances, right? It is true external and internal, both. It's outside and internal. Both they show this humility, right? How do they show external behavior here? For example, you bow down to elders. You never speak back to elders. You never speak back to your spiritual masters, right? You never talk to or argue with your senior devotees, right? These are all the qualities of real humility. And they put both mind and soul into this, right? That is the third way. These are a little bit advanced, showing humility. What is the final one? Internal humility. This is the final stage of humility. And what does this mean? Both mind and soul are showing humbleness and humility. The external humility depends on the internal humility. Like, because they already humble inside, external things show up, right? And how do they achieve this? They achieve this by reading books, Chaitanya Charitamrita, attending classes, showing Vaishnava etiquette. You all remember Vaishnava etiquette class, right? Last time? Like, showing the Vaishnava etiquette, and those things will really help with internal humility. And that is what we need to strive to achieve this. That is what we need to strive to achieve this. So this is what this humility means. Okay, now let's go and see how we can achieve this humility. What are the ways to achieve this humility? How do we do this? The one point that all that I'm going to talk about is to say one sentence. Please repeat after me. Krishna is our hero. We are zero. Zero. So Krishna is our hero, we are zero. That is the pure state of being humble, and that is the pure state of being humility. Let's see what are the different stages and how we can do this. Right? First point is renounce all sense gratification. What is sense gratification? Prabhuji Mataji, what is sense gratification? Satisfying your senses. Employing all your senses to the objects of sense gratification for your own benefit. For your own sense gratification, for your own benefit. Right? So, first thing in the step of being humble is renounce all sense gratification. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, there is one verse. Atmendriya priti vancha tare bali kama Krishnendriya priti icha dhare prema nama. The meaning of this, the desire to gratify one's own senses is called kama, lust. But the desire to please Krishna's senses is called prema, love. Of Lord Krishna is prema, love. So that is the difference between fulfilling our own senses, that is lust, and fulfilling Krishna's senses is love, prema, right? So sense gratification, as you said, is giving satisfaction or enjoyment to yourself. Humility means opposite, giving sense gratification, enjoyment or pleasure to Krishna, right? If you want to reduce or renounce self gratification, what do you need to do? Increase the pleasure that you give to Krishna. It's a pure mathematical formula. What is the relationship here? What is the proportion? Inversely proportional, right? The less and less you are sense gratification you are doing, the more and more you can give it to Krishna. The more and more you are engaged with your sense gratification, the less and less you will be engaged in Krishna's pleasure. So, the rule here is don't enjoy without Krishna. You always keep Krishna in the center, right? The sense gratification, to reduce it, some other philosophies say starve the senses. That is not at all possible. Starving the senses is the most difficult thing, and then they'll bounce back with 100 times more intensity. The only way to do sense control is to engage them in Krishna's service. How do you engage in Krishna's service? Eyes only go to temple, watch the beautiful deities that are decorated. Ears only listen to Krishna Katha. hands, do some service. I saw all the Matajis doing flower service here. Engage them in the service. Your feet, walk to the temple, come to congregations like this, right? And speak only Krishna Katha. So the only way to get rid of or reduce your sense gratification is to engage your senses in Krishna's pleasure.
What about prasadam?
Prasadam, yes, of course. Prasadam, offer it to Krishna and eat. That is the way you can really do this. Excellent point, Prabhuji. And second point. Let's go to the second point. Humility means accepting risk to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's desire. So what is the second point here that we need to make? Humility. Second point is humility means accepting the risks, right? Whatever it takes, follow the instructions of spiritual master. The perfect example of this Srila Prabhupada. At what age did he go to America to fulfill his master's desires? 65, with nothing in his hand, right? Because he wanted to fulfill his spiritual master's desire by distributing Harinam in Western countries. And see how much risk he took for that. At the old age, in the cold weather, without anything in his hand, no support, right? So, humility means I am nothing. I have to fulfill my spiritual master's desires. I have to fulfill Krishna's pleasures. I have to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's mission. Right? All this is being humility, being humble, showing humility. Right? That's very, very important. Right? Humility means accepting risks for others, preaching, doing service, putting others in front of you and doing all this, right? My spiritual master's instructions are soul and life for me, and then being bold for Krishna. I will be bold. I can do anything for Krishna, right? And also, one other thing to understand and remember is, be a lamb in the temple, be a tiger outside. What does that mean? You be in the service, mode of service to all other Vaishnavas in the temple. When you go out, you have to, kind of stand for the truth. What is the truth of our mission, our preaching statements, right? You are being, risk taker there, by distributing books, by telling about Srila Prabhupada's mission, right? You have to be that. This is Srila Prabhupada's quote. He said, be a lamb in a temple, be a tiger in outside. That is the second point. What is the third point to become more humble? Strong sadhana. Sadhana, what is our sadhana means? What is sadhana means, Prabhuji Matajis? What is the sadhana?
Practicing devotions.
Practicing devotion. What else? Chanting the holy names. What else?
Falling into it.
Yes, perfect. So there are three things, right? Chanting 16 rounds completely, four regulative principles. Everything that is has to be done in a day's, agenda. Finish that with strong mindset, right? Do it first. That is the first thing you need to finish. People say, I don't have time, Prabhuji, I don't have time to do this, I'm doing all this. The first thing you should finish is this, your chanting. Very important. And your arti, your prayers, you should finish that. Only then next. If Prabhupada said once, a devotee came to him and asked him, Prabhupada, I'm not able to finish my rounds. I'm only able to do 14 or 15, not able to finish everything. But there was so much service. Prabhupada asked, are you eating your lunch prasadam? He said, yes. Stop it. Finish your rounds and then only eat your prasadam. So no matter what, you have to finish your rounds that day without fail. That is strong sadhana means. And you have to take a vow. You should say, I am going to finish my rounds no matter what it takes before I sleep. Sometimes it takes more time because of your duties, office and all that stuff. But without that, think that I'm not eating, I'm not sleeping. That is strong sadhana. And that also helps your humility. What's the fourth point here? Understanding that it is impossible to attain Krishna. Prabhuji Mataji, with our own endeavor, we cannot attain Krishna. We are in a well, a dark well. Thinking that I can crawl back up, or even if somebody throws a rope, I can pull myself up, is completely illusory. You cannot come back out of this material world without, Krishna's mercy. Right? You cannot attain Krishna directly with our own endeavor. It can only happen by Krishna's mercy through Guru's mercy, right? No matter how much chanting you do, no matter how much sadhana you do, no matter how much service you do, without Krishna's mercy, you cannot get out of that. And attaining Krishna is far away thing. Understand that the only goal for your life is attaining His mercy, and that mercy comes through Vaishnava seva, your sadhana, and following your gurus, spiritual masters' orders strictly, and all these things. Right? That's very, very important. The final point here is the only person who is completely absorbed in case is truly humble. Who is a completely humble person? Who is completely engrossed in Krishna consciousness. So we talked about what is humility means and how to attain humility. This is so very important to be humble. So there are 2 or 3 things in this verse, but I'm stressing more on being humble and humility because that is the most important thing to understand. That's the most in-depth subject you need to understand. Little more I'll go on the tolerance side, but the second verse says Tarorapi Saishtuna. I should be tolerant, as tolerance as a tree, but I'm not going to deep in there, but that is self-explanatory. It is like, what is tolerance means? Tolerance means accepting the truth, accepting the reality, right? That is the tolerance means. You have to work with each other in Krishna consciousness, right? You have to, that's what Prabhupada said, right? Before he left the body, he said, the only thing he told is, please work with each other for the mission, right? Being tolerant, help others, right? Intolerance comes from Mayavadi philosophy, right? If you are truly imbibed into our philosophy, tolerance is imbibed in our philosophy. And being merciful, being forgiving are very, very important, right? Those are very, very important. So, that sums up our verse for today. Let's recite the verse again, just to meditate on it, and then we'll stop there. Let's go to the verse. I just want to project it for you. Let's recite the verse 3 times together. Trunadapi sunicena tarorapi sahishnuna amananena manadena kirtaneya sadahari. Trunadapi sunicena tarorapi sahishnuna amanane manadena kirtaneya sadahari. Trunadapi sunicena tarorapi sahishnuna amanena manadena kirtaneya sadahari. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji Maharaj.
Let us thank Prabhu 3 loud. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.